Hi, I want to thank anyone who has taken the time to click on this video because it means to me that you want to learn something about youth who have been in the fostering system, or youth who are going through something that I went through. It happens every day, all the time. Kids are abused, neglected, and really are mistreated by the staff, and as well as foster parents. When the kids in the foster system, they have been through something tragic that has brought them where they are now. There's a reason why they are in this placement, this group home, or this foster home. Something has happened to them. And for that adult that we're supposed to trust to just abuse us or hurt us in some way, talk down on us, it shows us how corrupt our system is. It doesn't help us. How are we supposed to better ourselves when our social workers, people who went to college for stuff like this, are corrupt? But anyways, I'm going to share something brief about myself, and then I'm going to get to the point of telling you of something that just happened. But give me a second. So, my name is Kalia Husky. I actually was a youth advocate for youth fostering change. So I spoke for kids who were in DHS. You know, so we thought of issues that we thought were a big problem as a group, and then we came up with a document and brought it to DHS's attention, and so they could fax the document or whatever. But I felt like, as a youth advocate, I never really got to speak on something that I thought was the most important, and I feel like it was the abuse, because hundreds and hundreds, maybe even more than hundreds of kids go through what I went through. I have a lot of friends who've been through a lot of abuse in these foster systems, being in a foster home, getting burnt with cigarettes by their foster parent, being in a placement facility where men beat them up, you know. So it's really harsh. It's hard out there, okay? So if you don't know anything about it, just take a couple of minutes just to watch this video and just to educate yourself, because I promise you, you're going to be shocked by some of the things that you're going to hear. So, about a year ago, here's my story. I was at a group home called St. Joe's on Magnolia Street. When I first got there, the rules were already insane to me. They're probably insane to mostly every kid who first comes there. There's a 30-day blackout, you can't leave, and you can't have cell phones. There were some other rules. But the big issue for me was the cell phone rule, was because I had a job interview for actually a energy company, and I had my cell phone, so when they called me, I didn't want for there to be like an issue, like, oh, well, now I don't have the job. Y'all made me lose my opportunity for a job because now I don't have my cell phone. Long story short, that night, they didn't really say anything. They let me go on my phone. Actually, a lot of the girls had cell phones in that place. So pretty much the next day, I had to go somewhere. This program I went to, they allowed me to go. And I came back. I did have a mace on me from the previous group I was in. It's always violence. And I just wanted to protect myself. So, but I had mace. I never used it. Cigarettes on me. I smoked at the time. And my phones and the charger. So the lady checked in my bag. I didn't think that, if I thought it was going to be such a big deal, you know, I would have hid my stuff. So the lady looked through it. She took the mace. I didn't argue about it. Hey, I understand. She took my cigarettes. Fine. No, she didn't take my cigarettes. She let me keep my cigarettes, but she took my phone. So I told the one lady, her name was Tamika Scott, and she took my phone. And I told her, you know, I really need my phone, blah, blah, blah. You know, I had told her about the interview I had coming up. Long story short, they didn't care. So me and the lady ended up tussling for the phone. Not hitting each other. I wasn't cussing at her. I wasn't disrespecting her. I just said, just give me back my phone. I just kept repeating myself. So when we tussled for the phone like this, it wasn't no hand grab, nothing like that. It was just simple tussle the phone like this. So when I got the phone back from her, I put it in my chest. Right here. Okay? Once I put the phone in my chest, I asked her for my charger. I told her, okay, how about this? You can have the phone back, but how about you just let me call my child advocate so she could. I felt like, my child advocate at least explained to her why I might have needed my phone. Meanwhile, we're having this argument. Here's a shocker: a girl is talking on the phone in front of us, having this whole argument. So I wouldn't even say it was. I guess you could say it was an argument, but it wasn't me cussing. She wasn't cussing at me, but she was telling me pretty much no, I couldn't call my youth advocate or my not my youth advocate, my child advocate or my social worker. She wouldn't let me call them, which I was really surprised because when you have issues, they're supposed to let you call those people. Those are the people you're supposed to call to talk to. So next thing you know, a man named Mr. LeVar, he had to be in his early 20s. He come out of nowhere, cussing at me, yo, what the f*** is this? You're gonna be disrespecting Mrs. Tamika, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? I said, I just want my phone. I said, give me my phone. He's screaming at me. He digs in my shirt and grabs my phone. It falls out on the ground, so I still got to get it. So I start stamping on him because at this point you have assaulted me, you touched me. You should have never went in my shirt, okay? But I'm going to stop it right there because in the report, here's the funny thing. Liars. Oh, by the way, here's the report that they took a year to get back to me. They didn't even investigate anything, but they took a year to get the report back to me, okay? It says that, what did it say he said? She described Mr. LeVar's behavior toward her as very aggressive after he became involved in the confrontation between herself and Miss Scott. Kalia stated she did call the police after retrieving her cell phone, and an officer came out and spoke with all parties involved. Miss Scott reported that Kalia became very agitated and threatening after her cell phone was discovered in her pocketbook. Cell phones are not permitted in the group home, and subsequently wrestled the phone out of her hand. I wrestled out of her hand. Threatening, how was I threatening if I never threatened you? Okay? I just specifically literally asked her, give me my phone. Now, Mr. LeVar intervened. Kalia became irate, and the cell phone fell from her halter top. So he intervened, and the cell phone fell from her halter top. So they used what he said as the truth versus from what I said, because that's how little my voice is as a youth in the system, okay? So in speaking with Mr. LeVar, here's the interesting part. He stated he had not touched Kalia during the incident, and the cell phone fell without any contact between himself and Kalia. So here's my thing. If you did not touch me, and the cell phone fell without any contact between me and you, why does the next line say, Mr. LeVar reached for the phone located under a shoulder strap and fell to the floor? This is how I know they didn't investigate it. Because if they did, okay, first of all, why would I put this is the shoulder strap, I guess you would say. Okay, so if he reached for the cell phone from here, first of all, he's still touching me, right? And second of all, I thought you never touched me. It says in the report you never put your fingers on me. Lies. Okay? After he touched me, I never threatened this man. I was crying, and I told him, don't effing touch me. I cussed at him, because at this point I am upset. I am hurt that even a woman would sit there and let another male touch me, dig in my shirt. Then had the nerve to say she didn't see anything. 2 women staff were there, had the nerve to say they didn't see anything. So, I'm crying. I got enough energy on my phone to call the cops. The lady came. She put us in different rooms, talked. Of course, nothing happened. She had me write a report. That was it. I had ended up leaving that group home, and I called my I had to buy a $20 charger from Radio Shack. They would not give me my charger back, and I called I think she was my social worker, Miss Ferguson, and I told her everything that happened. And even when she called them on the phone, she said it sounded like they was lying. Didn't make any sense. Okay? And yeah, the man was threatening me, telling me to go get somebody. I never once out my mouth told him that I was going to get anybody. He threatened me and told me to go get somebody. It was ridiculous. It really was. So yeah, so he never touched me, but he touched me. That's weird. So yeah, that was the first story. So stick around so I can tell you about the second story. This one is even more disturbing than the first. It really is. So thank you for your time, and I hope this told you a little bit something. There will be more parts to it, and I will have other people speaking about their stories as well. But just comment, say anything you like, dislike. I want to know your views, and if you've been through anything like this or even worse, don't be afraid to talk about it. I wasn't going to just let this get swept under the rug. This man assaulted me. It was so unnecessary. You assaulted me over a cell phone. Okay? Meanwhile, other people are talking in front of their cell phone, but you assaulted me over a cell phone. It was really ridiculous. But alright, thank you for listening.